Ooh, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Techbot Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. If you guys are new to the YouTube channel, what's going on? My name is Ricky. We run the largest YouTube channel and the largest private Facebook group in the world for those who, of course, day trade in the stock market. So if you guys are new to day trading and would like to connect with like-minded individuals, one of the things that you guys can do is you guys can click refresh, click the first link down below, and it will send you on over to our free Facebook group. This is simply where you can talk amongst other people that are, again, just getting started in the stock market. We have over 265,000 members. Please do give me like 5 seconds. I'm gonna say what's up to everyone that's tuning on in. And if you guys ever want to tune in during for our Sunday stock talks, we host a live stream like this every single Sunday at 6:30 p.m. every single Sunday Mountain Standard Time. So all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and we get to hang out and talk about the top stocks we see value in. So what I wanna see your name pop up if this is one of your first time tuning on in to one of my live to one of the Sunday stock talks. So I'm going to try to say as many people as I can. What is going on? Einstein, Canadian trader, Juan. Holy smokes. We are entering the matrix right now. What's going on, Michael? What's going on, Trent? What's going on, Jason? What's going on, Ben? What's up, Jared? Christian? Here we go. Bro, I need to stop it a little bit. Tyler, Tanner, Gerardo, Delisa. Here we go. What's up? What's up? Rodrigo, Luis, Chris, Eddie, Haley, Christopher, Archie. You guys are going too quick. I got myself on camera. I like it. Well, altogether, I really do appreciate you guys tuning on in. I really hope that you guys smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't already. And I really hope that throughout this Sunday stock talk, we break down some of the top stocks that you see value in. And the whole purpose of this Sunday stock talk is simply to, collectively, right? As I'm breaking down stocks, I really hope that you're doing your own technical analysis. Just because I see value in something or don't see value in something doesn't mean that you should agree. At the end of the day, we are all wired in different ways, and that's what I want to empower you to do, is to have your own opinion and to be your own person. So I have to say what's up to my dude. So we got a Steph, man, he always calls me Thick Brick. I think it's because I'm pretty skinny, so but altogether, what's up? I really do appreciate you guys tuning in here on Sunday. And if you see value in any of the stocks that we talk about today, all we ask you is you don't have to trade any of these. At the end of the day, you are the final decision maker on where you choose to put your money. So the really cool thing about these Sunday stock talks is it's for exposure purposes. You can add stocks to your watch list. You can set your alerts. You can follow up with it when it makes sense. And just like the real, what is that? Papatino is saying, follow Ricky on TikTok. Yeah, I made a new TikTok. So I didn't get my original username. There's too many people that I guess took every version of my username. I'm a little late to the game, but I make very basic and beginner friendly videos on TikTok. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. If you guys would like me to break down the top stock that you see value in, all I ask you to do is to post it in the ticker call out format. I do want to remind you that at the end of this video, just because it's such a hot topic, I'm going to be talking about airlines after Warren Buffett during this conference shared that he sold all airlines, and that he pretty much sold all of American Airlines, United Airlines, Delta Airlines, and Southwest Airlines. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And of course, I'm going to talk about crude oil as it's currently down 7%, almost 8%. So fellow YouTuber here, and I love your videos. Been watching since you guys in DGAS days. JD, what's going on? You guys in DGAS days, I don't know where you've been, but it's still you guys in DGAS days. I have my own niche, right? I focus on day trading a lot of natural gas ETFs. At the end of the day, my goal is never for you to day trade what I trade. At the end of the day, my goal for each and every single one of you is to have your own version, right? Your own version of natural gas. If you have a big focus on tech, if you see a lot of value in crude oil, whatever the case might be, at the end of the day, we're all wired in different ways. Be empowered to be your own person. It's important to be unique, right? Let's go ahead and get started. Please, like you can see Craig doing right here, post your stock in the ticker call out format. Please make sure you do that. So like around. What's going on, JD? Well, I appreciate you tuning on in. It's nice to see you. So I'm going to go ahead and pin the ticker call out format that Ismail is sharing. And if you want me to break down your stock, all we ask you to do is to prepare your trade, right? So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and so we're going to do Kala, okay, and then we're going to do LABD. So, and then it was Kala, right? So, all right, we're going to do about 10 to 15 different stocks within this trading session. So I hope that that's something that you guys set time aside for. So this will go by quickly. One of the things that I have a big focus on is, first of all, I don't like biotech ETFs. I don't like the biotech industry. You might ask why. I don't work well with it. I find there to be a lot of hype, a lot of manipulation when it comes down to biotech. And because of that, I just decided to not trade it. Just because I don't do something, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't either. I'm just sharing my opinion. I can appreciate it. It doesn't mean that I have to trade it. I don't know if you guys can agree with me on this, but there's just some stocks in some sectors or industries that I just won't touch. I don't like cannabis. I don't like biotech. I don't like pharmaceuticals. I just don't work well with them. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't. It just means that I just, in my past experiences, haven't had the best one. So I'm just here to share that with you guys. One of the things that I can appreciate is when something is uptrending, and LABD has been almost doing the exact opposite. It's been selling off. It has found some form of support, and it did push up. But looking at the RSI and looking at the MACD, you could see that it's a little bit more on the overbought side. It pushed up enough that LABD has not been showing great signs of consistent growth. I'm not saying that it can't continue to uptrend. I'm just saying that it has a lot to prove. First of all, you shouldn't try to just jump in, at least for myself. It has a lot of upside margin. I respect that, right? But it has a lot to prove, and all it's been doing is when it does push up, it just gets rejected and then continues to make new lows. And it wouldn't surprise me if it were to do the same. So I'm going to set my alert for the break above $8. We could follow up with it if it pulls back, bounces off the EMA line, and actually begins to make higher highs. Or if it actually begins to pull back and it breaks below the EMA line. For all those tuning in right now, what's the inverse ETF of LABD? The really cool thing about ETFs is that some of them have inverses of one another. So when LABD goes down, as it has been, what goes up? What's the inverse? LABU, right? So for all of our a little bit more experienced day traders and people that have been focusing on biotech, LABU is of course another very popular biotech ETF, and this goes up when LABD goes down. So it's really cool. So as long as you focus on direction, you can keep things pretty simple. And that's kind of my approach when it comes down to natural gas. So it pulled back quite a bit. It doesn't mean that you want to buy the dip, as we don't know if it can go lower, as it can based off of previous patterns, but we can set our alerts. If it begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, instead of trying to force a trade on LABD, we can then just wait for the opportunity to present itself on LABU. Best of both worlds, right? All you have to focus on is overall direction. And I really like the pattern on this one. So this is Kala Pharmaceuticals, not the biggest fan of that, of course, but I respect this overall consistent uptrend pattern. It's been making higher highs, it's been making higher lows. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to. All I'm going to say on this one is I like how consistent it's been. I'm going to set my alert for the break above the EMA line, and it makes sense on why you find this to be attractive, as it's so much easier to grow your account and make money when the overall uptrend direction is in your favor. So now we have to calculate what's the margin, about 10%. So I can see that to be a reason on you finding that profit potential attractive. You can set up an overall plan where your upside obviously outweighs your downside. You manage your risk. And I like this one. I really do. I don't like pharmaceuticals, but I can see why you see value in this. Again, confirmation is key. I would wait for personally the break above the EMA line. I would wait for indication of an uptrend. Just because it's bounced and made higher lows before, it doesn't mean that it has to do it again. So it has margin for it to pull back. So instead of trying to get in too early, do your part as a trader to get in when the direction is in your favor. But again, I really appreciate it. I think we're off to a great start. Those were two solid stocks so far. So what's going on, Joey? How you doing? So BAC. So we got Bank of America, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Bank of America. I can definitely see why it is that you're paying attention to this. I'm not too sure, Joey, if your approach is investing or if it's day trading. For us day traders, can you all see, what do you guys think? For us day traders, what do you all think? Feel free to share your opinion. What do you think about Bank of America and its current price point? It looks like it's been trying to uptrend. It just pulled back from recent highs, and it pulled back. It looks like it's trying to form a support. The MACD and the RSI doesn't look bad, right? It doesn't look bad. And it's been trying to uptrend, right? So what do you guys all think about it? So RSI is low. That's a, positive notion. So let's see what you guys have to say. I like it. So a lot of you guys are saying wait for confirmation. So just like we said with ticker symbol KALA, we're going to set our alerts and wait for confirmation, because again, if the market does begin to sell off and then let's say Bank of America follows, although it has been indicating signs of an uptrend, it doesn't mean that it has to continue. So instead of trying to get in too early, we'll just wait for confirmation, and as long as the opportunity presents itself, then we'll just make sure that we wait for that opportunity to present itself. So I kind of repeated myself on that one. I do apologize. So here we go. So we got ticker symbol ROKU. So this is Roku, obviously a very popular overall stock, right, during this pandemic, as a lot more people have been, obviously watching television as they've been quarantined. So it makes sense on why this thing began to uptrend. One of the things that we can 100% see is that it wasn't performing exceptionally well before this overall outbreak. And one of the things, this is just my opinion, please just take it as that. What do you think as America slowly, as the world slowly gets back to as much normal as possible? So that's slow progress, right? All these states and these different phases and the way that they're trying to progress and getting better, right? What do you think will happen to Roku? So the demand level for Roku went up during this quarantine period. So as we begin to ease our way back to work, it makes sense on why platforms like Roku and Netflix, the demand levels are just not going to be as high. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen right away, but we can anticipate that. So just make sure that you're aware of that. As long as we continue to extend our quarantine, the overall demand should continue for Roku and Netflix and those type of streaming platforms. But we can't expect this to, based off of previous patterns, to last forever, right? It does have an up and coming earnings report, so I don't personally like to hold their earnings. This is on 5/7/2020 at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So all I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to set my alert for the break above the EMA line, as it's been getting rejected as of right now, and I'm also going to set my alert if it begins to make new lows. So I really appreciate that call out. Just wanted to share my opinion on the current demand levels and what can happen if we ease our way back out of quarantine. So here we go. What's going on, Tyler? So we got Groupon. I appreciate you posting that in the ticker call out format. So here we go. Overall, it's trading at $1.20. It obviously hasn't been performing the best during this overall quarantine. It was trading at $3.16. The overall upside potential, of course, is there. It's in the hundreds, right? We can't expect, as we've said multiple times before, some industries take longer to recover than others. This thing has been trying to continue its overall uptrend pattern. We can see that it recently pulled back. It's trying to find a support. It's testing that EMA line as a resistance. What do? We set our alerts. The MACD, the RSI, they all look good. Now we just need to wait for confirmation and to see if higher highs end up forming. So for us, for those long-term investors, you, of course, I can see why you could potentially see value in platforms like Groupon, but you also want to make sure that you don't get in too early, as things can get worse before they get better. So I appreciate that call out, Tyler. Let's go ahead and do Griffin. So this is ETSY. ETSY. Here we go. What do we think about Etsy? So for everyone tuning on in right now, what do we think about Etsy? Is it a good deal? Is it something that you want to buy right now? It has up and coming earnings reports. What do you think? What do we think about Etsy as of right now? Is this something that you think can continue to uptrend? So it's showing signs of a descending pattern, selling off, overextended overall downtrend. So one of the things that we have to take into consideration is, like we've said before, some platforms or overall some companies right now are seeing higher demand levels than they normally see because of a lot of people being in quarantine. Etsy makes sense, right? You could see that overall it's been a very consistent uptrend pattern. It has an up and coming earnings report. So as long as demand levels went up during its Q1 report, it makes sense on why it can push up. Obviously, that's already anticipated into its earnings and its current price point right now. So if it's not better than expected, then we can actually see this to be a negative notion for the overall company. So I think right now, as we're testing this EMA line, especially as it's something that's already so overbought, I wouldn't view this as like something I'm desperate to buy, but I can see, as something has been so bullish, I can see why someone's paying attention to it. And it's testing this EMA line. It obviously has this upside potential. I wouldn't say it's anything crazy, but it's about 5 to 7%. Obviously, we cannot expect a perfect trade. So just make sure as you plan out your trade that the upside potential outweighs the overall downside, right? The risk involved, as things can go south when it comes down to trading. So I'm going to set my alert for both sides. I think that this would be an amazing stock to follow up with, especially during earnings, because even if it does pull back, maybe then you can even just wait, get it for a better deal. And once we do then have confirmation, we can follow up with it when it begins to make more sense. Wow, you guys are going pretty crazy today with the ticker call. So what are we at right now? So we've done 6 so far. Let's do about 5 to maybe 7 more. We have all these people sharing their top stocks right now, but I don't think half of them have even smashed that like button. I'm a little offended. So we'll see. So here it goes. Tanner sounds like a guy that he smashed that like button. So I'm going to break down his stock right now. I'm totally kidding. So I'll try to get through as many as I can. So Amazon, I can see, I'm actually really happy that you called this one out. Do you guys know what happened during its earnings? It reported its earnings. It beat expectations, right? Or overall reported a positive earnings. And it still acted as a negative catalyst because it didn't beat its overall expectations of what it is that they anticipated based off of its current performance, right? And it pulled back. I don't know if you guys saw, but it literally pulled 4 to 5%. It pulled back 4 to 5% in 1 minute. And just imagine that. Amazon, a multi-trillion-dollar company, pulled back 5% in 1 minute. It was crazy. And it's been pulling back. It looks like it's been trying to find a support. As of right now, I would say that Amazon kind of does its own thing, right? It did have obviously a red day on Friday as it reported its earnings on Thursday after market hours. That doesn't come as a surprise. A pullback doesn't scare me. One of the things that I would encourage myself and our viewers, right, to do is that to take into consideration that because of its earnings being so fresh, and as the market still continues to sell off, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to it, but the overall market is down 1% as of right now. So as long as the market continues to sell off, this can have a negative influence on Amazon. But with that being said, obviously Amazon has obviously been killing it during this quarantine period and its overall current demand, right? So the upside potential is there just as its downside potential is there. So instead of trying to get in so early, I think that we're at a critical point where it would be in our best interest to wait for direction to be more clear. So I'm going to set my alert on both sides. I've been paying attention to Amazon. Oh no, I'm actually invested in Amazon. I bought like 2 shares. How many shares did I buy? So I bought 6 shares. I normally don't swing trade very often, but look at my average price per share, $2,283. So I'm excited. I obviously didn't go in heavy. I just wanted to test things out with Amazon. And after I saw how it reported during its earnings, when there's a lot of panic sellers, I saw it being down 5 to 7%. I actually saw it down 10% when I decided to buy. And I wanted to take advantage of it. Just because I see value in something, in no way does that mean that you should as well. All I'm saying is because it didn't do as well as expected, but it's been absolutely killing it, I think that, there might be a little bit of a sell-off before it finds a support and continues to uptrend. But of course, I can be completely wrong, and this thing can continue to sell off, and I'll then just have to manage my risk with my 6 little shares, right? Oh, I guess it's not that little. It's $12,000. So yeah, I guess it's a little bit more than I forgot how expensive it was per share. But yeah, I really do appreciate you asking for me to break down Amazon, as it's been something that I've been obviously paying attention to and was very intrigued by how people reacted as it pulled back. I find this stuff to be so interesting. People's reaction to it, overall a company's performance. So we got Luis. Luis looks like he smashed the like button. So FIXX. Let me go ahead and break this down for you. So FIXX. I like this. Okay, so I like the overall horizontal pattern. This looks like it has low volume. Yeah, it doesn't have the best volume. That would be definitely something that would be a little careful with. So it says medicines. I'm not a huge fan of that, but we're definitely approaching a previous support level. So it makes sense on why you're paying attention to it. We're not getting any indication of an uptrend. So it looks like I've broken this down before. I'm just going to set my alerts. I'm not missing out on anything by not putting my money in FIX. If anything, it's been selling off. I don't want to put my money in something that's been selling off. Yes, it had a green day on Friday, but it's at the EMA line, which is where it's gotten rejected every single time. So that means nothing to me, right? I'm not here to cry about or to be concerned of, these couple little red days that it might have when the overall direction is not in its favor. I want FIX to start doing this. I want it to start indicating signs of an uptrend, and we're just not there yet. So all we can then do is set our alerts. But of course, just as much as it could go up, it could go down, as it has been selling off. So I'm going to set my alerts, and let's follow up with it. Let's allow the opportunity to present itself. So it looks like someone dropped something in the kitchen. Here we go. So we got ticker symbol TDOC. What's going on, Chris? TDOC. Here it goes. What do we think about this one? Do you guys like the pattern? This is the 180-day, 4-hour time frame. Do we like it? Do we not like it? What do you guys think about it? I smashed that like button. Review NAT. What's going on, Wyatt? So what do we think about TDOC? Do we like how consistent it's been? Do we like that pullback, right? Looking strong, overall uptrend. Just imagine, for all of our beginner traders, I love reminding, we get about like 5 to 10,000 kind of like new people to join our YouTube channel every week, around there. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that we do our part in sharing what works well for us and of course what doesn't. And for a lot of beginner traders, I have noticed, based off of running the largest Facebook group and the largest YouTube channel, a lot of beginner traders try to put their money in a stock that recently sold off to try to buy the dip to sell it for profit. I'm not here to say that that strategy doesn't work. I'm just here to say, how much easier would it be to make money when you put your money in something that is showing signs of growth? This is just an example. I'm not saying that TDOC is a stock that I'm even going to invest in. I can just say that I respect why people are paying attention to stocks like TDOC because of its consistent uptrend pattern. It's so much easier. It's not easy, but it's so much easier to make money and to grow your trading account when you put your money in something that's already growing. So you could see that there's a pattern. You could see that overall it's a consistent uptrend pattern. It makes higher highs and higher lows. We can set our alerts. And at the end of the day, patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to. Things can sell off, and we can set our alerts for both sides. If it breaks below the SMA line, which it hasn't recently before, but it can, of course, or if it breaks above the EMA line and begins to indicate signs of an uptrend. It is your job as a day trader not to put your money where you are being told to. You should never be told where you should put your hard-earned money. You should understand what opportunities are worth taking advantage of. And if you do not have that eye for value, don't worry about it. It takes time to build that eye for value. It takes time to understand, to know what to do. But at the end of the day, our goal for all of our viewers, for all of the people that are part of TechButt Solutions, and especially for all of our members that are part of Learn Plan Profit, our goal for you is to have a reason behind every action that you take. Because regardless if you either make a profit or you make a mistake, you can at least learn from it when you understand what you did and what you did wrong. When you go into a trade, when you were told what to do and you take a loss, you're like, what just happened? You feel robbed. At the end of the day, do your part as a trader to have a why behind everything that you do, because both are positive takeaways. You'll learn from your mistakes or you'll make a profit, which again are both positive outcomes. So I like TDOC. I like the pattern. I don't know anything about the company itself as of now, but of course, this would be something that out of a lot of the stocks that we broke down today, this would be something that I would take a little bit more time to learn more about to see if it's something where I want to put my hard-earned money into. So I appreciate that overall call out, and I hope that you guys can respect that. You know, the way that we do things here in Tech Buds is a little bit different. Of course, it's much easier if you're told what to do, but at the end of the day, your goal is to learn what to do, not to be told what to do, to be self-sufficient, right? So here we go. So what's going on, Danny? We got ticker symbol HUYA. Let's go ahead and break this one down. Alrighty. Well, this one's showing a very consistent descending pattern. The easiest way for me to put this is I am not missing out on anything by not investing in HUYA. It's a consistent descending pattern. It's making lower lows and lower highs. Yeah, it does have a couple times that it pushes up, but especially for all the beginner traders out there, it is so much more difficult to make a profit when the overall direction is against you. Think about it. When something is selling off and you're trying to scalp it to try to buy low and sell high, the overall direction is against you. So why overcomplicate it? Of course, if you see value in this one as the actual company or whatever the price point may be, I would wait for the opportunity to present itself, because HUAY is not showing any of that as of right now. So what's going on, Christian? Ticker symbol AMD. If I'm not mistaken, AMD has been absolutely killing it during this quarantine period. We could see a great push. It did pull back a little bit, and then recently pretty much tested the same highs at about $60, and then it pulled back. So now it kind of brings up the question, did it pull back enough where it's going to find a support and begin to push up? No one actually ever knows, right? We can set our alerts, and if the confirmation is there, then we can follow up with it. If it begins and continues to sell off, then the great thing about this is that you were patient enough that you didn't put your money in something before you were unaware of its true direction. So set your alerts. If you find it to be a stock worth following up with, add it to your watch list and follow up with it. It's that simple, right? Choose to trade opportunities that are worth trading and that you personally see value in. So we've broken down quite a bit within this little session. So we still have so many of you still. All right, let's do it. I'm going to go through these a little bit quicker, but let's have some fun. Let's break them down quick. All right. So Walmart, what's going on, Cameron? So WMT, here we go. Same thing with that I said about AMD, very similar pattern when it comes down to Walmart. Walmart hit overall highs of 134. It pulled back. It's now testing the EMA line. Obviously, there's upside margin just as there's downside margin. It does have an up-and-coming earnings report, so just take that into consideration, especially if you're a long-term investor. But you can see that right here, if you were to even manage your risk with the upside in comparison to the downside, we can set our alerts on both sides. And when direction and the overall opportunity begins to become a little bit more clear, this is, of course, something that we can follow up with. But I appreciate you calling that one out. What's going on, Jason? So ticker symbol BA. So for those that think I speak a little too quick, better put on your seatbelt, homeboys. Here it goes. So Boeing obviously has to do a lot with the overall airline industry. It's been making lower highs and not necessarily lower lows. It's been almost finding the same support right around 127. We're not missing out on anything. It's not pushing up. It's not making higher highs. The airline industry necessarily isn't going anywhere. Like we've said multiple times before, some industries take longer to recover. If you see a lot of potential in the recovery of the airline industry and you don't want to miss out, that's your decision. But at the end of the day, just with this extension of the quarantine period and as airlines begin to retire their series of planes because it's going to take time to get back to the demand levels that we were last year, it wouldn't be much of a surprise if things only continue to get worse. So I'm going to set my alert on both sides, and we can follow up with it when it begins to make more sense, or when Boeing actually begins to indicate signs of an uptrend. So here it goes. YUMC. What's going on, Alexander? Alrighty. I can tell right away that this has low volume. No, wait, what? Let's see. little crazy. It's just extremely volatile. Okay, so it has to do with its earnings, right? Had a huge push up. Now it's pulling back. And this one's all over the place. I don't see there to be a consistent pattern. I don't see there to be a consistent direction. I don't like to trade things like this, but I'm going to set my alert for both sides. We could follow up with it. This isn't a good deal. It does a majority of its trading between $40 and $42, if anything around $44. So it's currently trading at 46. If anything, I see more downside potential than I do upside based off of previous highs that are around $55. So that's always something that I take into consideration when it comes down to thinking or asking myself, is a trade worth taking? Does the upside margin or the profit potential outweigh the downside margin? And if it doesn't, then are you really seeing a trade worth trading, or are you just forcing a trade? So let's go ahead and break down this one. So we got ticker symbol RJS. That is by our friend Jose. RJS here. Oh, did I not get it correctly? Oh, I missed it. Let me try it one more time. Oh, man. Okay. I must have typed it in incorrectly, or what happened there. All right, what's going on, William? So we got ticker symbol WE. I go through it a little bit too quick. Oh, no. All right, WEN. All right, here we go. Not so much of a good deal. So this is Wendy's. I don't know who still goes to Wendy's, but definitely not me. It has an up-and-coming earnings report on, what is this? Let's check the date here. So 5/6/2020 before market Central Standard Time. So it's been, we can respect this overall consistent uptrend pattern. It looks like it's testing this EMA line. Again, with the overall idea, does the upside margin outweigh the downside potential? I don't think so. Can this thing continue to uptrend? Of course, but I think as we're approaching earnings, it's in my best interest to probably not be in it, as I've already missed a majority of the rally. Does that make sense to you? So let's go ahead and do two more. Okay, I do want to break this one down. A lot of people have been asking about it. JETS. This is the overall ETF that follows the overall airline industry. So taking that into consideration, if things do continue to get worse, just like I first explained, if things do continue to get worse for the airline industry, it would only make sense on why JETS, which is an ETF that has to do with is made up of the top 10 airline industries, it only makes sense on why it can continue to sell off. So instead of thinking that now is the best time to buy, you have to take into consideration the risk involved when it comes down to an ETF, especially with an industry that has been hit as hard as the overall airline industry. So instead of trying to buy and hope that it recovers, wait for actual indication of a recovery. That's the most simple way that I can put it. If you want to take on the risk of buying now when the direction is still unclear, that's up to you, and that's your form of risk management. Then at the end of the day, all power to you. But I think that it would be in my overall best interest to put my money in, again, when direction is a little bit more clear. So if I see natural gas making lower lows and lower highs, then it makes sense on why then I'm paying attention to D-gas, and vice versa, right? If natural gas is bullish, then paying attention to U-gas. So let me go ahead and break down one more, and then we'll close out this live stream. So we got Sebastian with EVRI. So EVRI, look at that. We broke down quite a bit of stocks within this live trading session. So every holdings, aggressive sell-off, it's been trying to push up. It's not making, it is making higher highs from its overall initial drop at $1.55, but now we're testing the SMA line, and just like, literally Boeing, right? It's testing the SMA line. It's not really making higher highs, and it can easily get rejected there before things get better. So instead of me trying to think that, hey, it's time to buy right now, I think that stocks like EVRI that show very similar patterns as they're getting tested by the SMA line, they have a lot more to prove before I would consider to especially invest in them long term. So I'll set my alert on both sides, and we can close it out there. I'm not too sure if a lot of you guys were paying attention to it, but we were talking about, I think my video on Saturday had to do with crude oil. We asked the simple question, is crude oil based off of recent patterns? Crude oil has been getting rejected by the SMA line almost every single time. A lot of people were certain that it was going to push up. I tried to remain as neutral as possible, but I just pointed out the obvious that it hasn't been able to push above it. Analysts thought that it could, but based off of current performance, it looks like it's pulling back. It's not selling off, but it's pulling back, testing its support at the EMA line. The MACD is curling down, the RSI is pulling back. Obviously, there's downside potential, but right now it's down about 7%. So it's going to be a very interesting morning for the overall airline industry. But that's pretty much it. That's our Sunday stock talk. That's pretty much what we do every single Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If I did not get to the stock that you wanted me to break down, all you have to do is send me and tag me within our Discord, right? This is for our TechBud Solutions Discord. All you have to do is you have to go to the watch list section, and all you have to do is post your top stock in the ticker call out format and then tag me. The same thing when it comes down, if you're part of Learn Plan Profit, all you have to do is go to group alerts and then post it in the ticker call out format, and then again tag me just like this, and I'll go ahead and I'll share my opinion with you guys. At the end of the day, I really do appreciate you guys tuning on in. I hope that you guys learned something new. I hope that you guys were able to maybe just cherry pick. Again, at the end of the day, the goal is never to add all the stocks that we talk about in these videos into your watch list. You should be empowered to have your own opinion. You should not agree with everyone that everything is valuable, right? You need to have your eye for value and what meets it, and build your watch list and your series of different watch lists based off of that. Be empowered to be your own person. Stop following what everyone else is doing. And it is very encouraging when I see people take what they found attractive from my trading style and they build their own. At the end of the day, our goal is not to be told what to do, but it's to understand what it is that we are doing, right? We don't want to wake up every morning and ask, what should I buy? What should I sell? Or anything like that. We want to understand what opportunities are worth trading and which ones are better off avoiding. Keeping it that simple. So I really hope that I earned your thumbs up. Friendly reminder, if you guys haven't joined our free Facebook group, you guys can refresh your page, and the first link down below will send you on over to our free Facebook group. It's called TechBud Solutions. We're the largest Facebook group in the world for those who day trade in the stock market. We have over 267,000 members, and we're growing every single day. So if you want to learn more about the stock market and you want to connect with like-minded individuals, it's a free group, and it's the first link down below. Of course, if you guys want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, we actually hosted one of our free live trading sessions on Friday or on Thursday, and a lot of people love to be able to watch me trade live. You guys can check it out to get a taste of what it was. You guys can click on this video on my YouTube channel. And if you guys want to tune on in to my live trading session tomorrow, of course, it's going to be only for the Learn Plan Profit group, but you can click the second link down below, learn a little bit more about Learn Plan Profit, and ask yourself if it's a good fit for you. If you find the way that I break things down and being able to watch me trade live to be of value, then we would love to have you as a part of the team. I really do appreciate you guys' time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, continue working hard, continue following dreams. Let your passion be what drives you in your success. Message me on Discord. Just keep it under 150 characters if you have any questions. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. If you guys, friendly reminder, I only have one Instagram account. There's a bunch of fake accounts. Please know this. On Facebook, on Discord, on Instagram, on YouTube, I never message you first. On TikTok, on any platform, I never email you. There's so many fake accounts. Just know I have one Instagram account, one YouTube channel, one Twitter, and one TikTok. And the TikTok one is like Trading 101. That's my username because my Ricky Gutierrez username was taken. But please just know that I never message you first. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up. But just know that there's so many different like fake Ricky accounts that say that like Bitcoin investor or money management. I never trade money for you. I never ask you for personal information. I never message you first. And I like to keep things simple. I trade live with the Learn Plan Profit group, and we have our free Facebook group, and that's all. That's it. So where's the Discord? You guys just join our free Facebook group, and then you guys will be sent the Discord link. So I appreciate you guys' time. What's going on, Austin? And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.